Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. I hope everyone is ready for the weekend. I had a kind of weird week. I was kind of in a funk. I don't know what was going on. This is going to be kind of a literature poor episode. I'm sorry. I know you come to Garage Geek to get all your answers to all the burning literature questions, but this week I'm going to have to leave you high and dry. Yeah, every time I got out of the car, I just didn't feel like listening to anything except really bad pop music to get me through my commute. I couldn't. It was really bad. Um, but one really cool thing that happened this week was 2 days ago. I came home and I had a package waiting for me, another VCLT that I wasn't expecting. I've been getting a largesse of riches from the YouTube community. I shouldn't just say vinyl community, but from the YouTube community. So I'm going to share what I got. Now, this was from Jenny at B-Sides, and I really hope that she'll let me give her some money. She sells things, and I offered to buy some stuff, but she sent this stuff for free. So if not, I'm going to have to send her a gift, which is just right. So I'm going to show you. And another thing is that she thought of my husband in a lot of this. So she sent this really great Rolling Stone magazine that is all about Madonna. So cool. And then inside of it was a copy of True Blue, the 45. Now, this one is scratched up, but that's okay. So we're going to use it as a decorative piece somehow. And I want some way that the light can shine through this to show off this beautiful blue vinyl. So this is going to become some part of a decoration that will go in my husband's Madonna showcase. She sent... The rest of what she sent, they were 45s and albums. So I'll show off the 45s first. There are a lot of good ones. She knows that I like picture sleeves. But this was interesting. She gave me this postcard record, and I haven't played it yet. It's going to be fun when I do. But look at how cool. This is a floppy postcard that is an album. And it says Young Suburban Minds, Oswald. And I guess this is the song. And here it is. I mean, but it's so cool. I don't have any of these floppy vinyls, so that was really cool to get. And then I got some, 45s. A lot of good ones is a Lear Sayer, Debbie Boone. So awesome. I got a picture sleeve of that, Xanadu. How cool is that? And this is one I asked for. I love Bernadette Peters. I've seen her in concert. She's actually going to be in concert soon, but I'm not going to see her. So this is Bernadette Peters with Vargas art. How beautiful is that artwork? So this is Gee Whiz. Look at how gorgeous that sleeve is. Here's another one. The Elton John Band, Philadelphia Freedom. That's cool. The Grassroots, the Buckinghams. There's a lot in here that, I recognize the Buckinghams, but I don't think I know the song. The Grassroots, I think I've heard them before. Pretty sure I have. So I'll enjoy listening to each one of these. But look at this one. I know someone must have bid for that one. She gave me John Lennon Woman. Look at that. That is a treasure. Yeah. Let's see if... it's the same picture on the back. Yeah, look at that. Woman and Beautiful Boys. I actually really like that album. And I actually like all of Yoko Ono's songs on that album as well. Hello, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Too Much and Nothing. And the House Song. Wait, I don't know that one. That's strange. It's from album 1700. I probably know it, but just it's not coming to my mind. Here's a Linda Ronstadt. You can never go wrong. Hurt So Bad. and Justine. Look at this cool one. Look at that beautiful. Look at that. That is so cool. And then look at the actual 45, the thing. Sorry, my nails are long. I didn't feel like doing anything this week, even cutting my nails. I wouldn't do that. I Ain't No Schoolboy by Duke Baxter. Everybody knows Matilda. Poor Matilda, she's got a reputation. And then look at this. Look at this awesome Paul Anka. Put your head on my shoulder. Okay, I can't sing. And Summer's Gone. There you go. Now, I'm going to show you the albums. The albums are so cool. Let me put this down, including this flexi card. This is so wonderful. Oh, and by the way, I was going to make a separate video to show all this off, but I just did not have the energy. I'm sorry, B. I really wanted to. I'm going to save the best one for last. Okay, so Eartha Kitt, gay icon. Look at that. I love men. Yes, I do, Eartha. I love it. 45 men. I mean, come on, that's amazing. And then this next one, Brenda and the Big Dudes. Believe it or not, B, I love Brenda Fossier, and I actually visited South Africa on a small vacation. I lived in Malawi for a year, and I love Brenda Fossier's music. And here you can see Brenda Fossier. So you probably didn't know that, but this is amazing because all I have is a CD or two of hers that I bought when I was in Africa. So to have something like this, she's really, really good if you've never heard her before. Yeah, look at that adorable picture of them. Look at her. That's awesome. And then this one is so cool. Look at that. The Brian Auger Oblivion Express. You know I love any kind of kooky, wacky art on the covers. Look at that. That's a gorgeous painted cover. I'm looking forward to hearing that. They're pretty famous. I'm not sure if I've ever listened to them, though. And okay, there was one more that I absolutely don't know at all. This is a maxi single by the Army of Lovers. I'm not sure which is the name and which is the song name. Obsession, Army of Lovers. So my husband and I will definitely have fun spinning that. Now here's the best for last. This thing is amazing. I don't know what it is. I haven't played it yet. It's called This Fall Indian Love Call, Utica Fine Arts. And it's just all these weird... I don't know what's going on with this album. Look at this cover. This is gold. Nobody has this in their collection. What is it? Is it music? I have no idea. This is insane. And you just open, it's a trifold. I didn't read it yet, but I mean, look at this interior. It's just weird and like, what is this thing? This is gold. Now let's look at the album. Here we go. Jeanette. The album doesn't match it. Because I know Jeanette McDonald and Nelson Eddy. But you know, oh wait, it does say Indian Love Call. Rosemarie. I know a lot of these songs because they're you know, a singing and acting duo from right around when movies became talkies. Maybe a little bit later than that, but like the early 30s, I think. I have no idea if this album goes with this cover. I don't care. This cover is just like, what is this? I want that so bad. And he matches the sheets. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you, B. You really gave me, like, I got a kick out of this album so much. That's definitely going to be one of my prized albums. If any of you have this album out there, I really want to know, because I think I have a one and only album here. This is something unique. Okay, B, again, I want to thank you. You actually gave me a little joy in what was kind of a kind of funky week. Okay, So now we can go on with the regularly scheduled show. Like I said, I only have one book and it's a short one. So I have a lot to talk about when it comes to movies. In fact, one of the things that I overdid it on movies this week. I'm going to talk about it when I get there. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, excuse me, I watched another live action short. This one is from the New Yorker, but it's free on YouTube and it's 24 minutes. I'm getting my photos ready right now. And this was called Night of Fortune. And it's based on the name of a song. The song is actually sung in this short. And as you can see from the poster, it takes place in a funeral home. I don't want to spoil much. This was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this from beginning to end. It was well acted. It's short enough where it's like, a short story, and it's poignant. It was really nice. So I highly recommend that one. It's free on YouTube. Night of Fortune. I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm going to have to join the haters. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was just that, dumb. I'm usually very upbeat about these movies. This movie was so dumb and frankly boring. I kind of thought that about the first Aquaman. It was overly long. Jason Momoa is so cool. If you don't mind watching Jason Momoa flip his hair around and ride on a motorcycle, I mean, that's enough to watch the movie, honestly. I enjoyed that. But honestly, this movie is bad. It's got amazing special effects. But it's just silly and didn't need to be made. It's just full of cliches. Again, I hate to bag on superhero movies. I'm glad they're making them. But this was a turkey. It was a stinker. If you love this movie, please put in the comments why. I need to understand. I need to understand if anybody liked this movie besides Jason Momoa. I mean, that guy's cute too, but that Jason Momoa, wow. He's awesome. And when he flips his hair, forget it. He looks awesome. I finished the first season of Resident Alien. I started the second one. So that's the cast of it. It's based on the comic. I actually have the comic and I didn't realize it. Someone sent it to me as a gift as VCLT. So I definitely have to read it. But it's about an alien that crash lands on Earth and is mimicking a human. But he's got some dark motives. And it's about the humans in the town that he comes into contact with. There's more going on than that. The first season was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say like it's the most amazing thing ever, but I really did enjoy it. Especially if you want to have fun, just watch the first couple episodes. Okay, so now we're going to get into what possibly put me in a funk. No, it was work. But I watched 3 of the Academy Award nominated movies in a row, and all 3 were depressing. And it wasn't just that I watched all 3 movies. It's like they were so long. Each one was 3 hours or more. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper. Now, Sleepy Reader warned me. He was like, this is not going to be your typical biopic. And he was right. I actually had different ideas about this movie. They really focused on the relationship between Bernstein and his wife. I was expecting it to be more about his overall life in general. To me, it really did feel like it was a lot about his wife. So I wasn't expecting that. This movie is very strange. It really does defy some of the rules of the biopic. The cinematography in this was gorgeous. The transitions moving from one scene to another were just really, I would be like, how did they do that? How did they just do that? Um, but you have to take this with a grain of salt. This is definitely a movie that can be watched again and savored. I think this is more like cinema poetry than a biopic. So if you go into this, wanting to know all about Bernstein's life and from beginning to end in his career, no, you're going to get something totally different. I don't know if this could win. This movie is so kind of out there strange that I do not see this movie winning. Although, for posterity's sake, this movie might be one of the ones that are new or pushing the boundaries of these genres. Another thing that kind of bothered me about this is his makeup is amazing. But every time they did extreme close-ups with him in the makeup, and there were a lot of them, it still looks plasticky to me. And that would draw me out, right? Because I'd be focusing on his face and it just looked, like he had Botox or something. I don't know. The actor can't really move under all of that makeup. And I mean, it looked amazing. Sometimes you would do a double take at how good the makeup is, but I don't think the director, well, he's the actual director. I don't think he made the wise choice of always having those extreme close-ups. And that wasn't exactly, a ray of sunshine, that movie. Very depressing in many, many ways. So next, I went ahead and watched Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Loved it. I loved it. Of the three movies I'm going to talk about, I think I enjoyed this one the most. But again, this is political and it's not very, I'm going to say it's kind of depressing. Like, it was like this wave of depression. So I watched this movie. This movie is so good. For a movie about politics and science, I was immediately drawn in, and it was so much fun to watch. Now, there are a lot of special effects thrown in that some people would be, some people might say it's gimmicky, but I thought it really enhanced the narrative. It really made you think a little bit more about or help you try to imagine what Oppenheimer is thinking. There were so many actors in this movie. They were just coming left and right, like famous actors. The ensemble cast in this movie was so crazy. So many different people in this movie. One standout was Gary Oldman as the president. Wow, that scene was good. It has a pretty negative outcome as well. And then finally, I watched another Ray of Sunshine movie, and that's going to be Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, that picture didn't come out very well. It's all cut off. Everybody's cut off. I should have looked at that before I showed it. Wow, depressing. These movies are depressing. I knew that before going in. Martin Scorsese doesn't make happy movies. And it's even got killer in its title. It's starring Robert De Niro. Okay, I do have a complaint about Robert De Niro. I love him, but every time I watch him now, it's like he's Robert De Niro. It's like he's like Robert De Niro, and that kind of takes me out. This movie is just about a bunch of backstabbing, conniving murderers and thieves, and how they worm their way into, this community of Osage Indians who struck oil, and they're doing everything they can to steal everything from them. This is history, right? It also leads, I guess, to the birth of the FBI. Whatever. It was so hard to watch Leonardo DiCaprio be a complete scum the entire movie when there's this woman who like really, really loves him and trusts him. It's just so hard to watch. I mean, that's what makes this brilliant, right? But I had come off this wave of depressing movies, and I did not want to watch what was unfolding because this movie is 3.5 hours long. It's a very, very good movie. So good. But it's depressing. You're going to be in for a ride because, these people are just killing people left and right and getting away with it. And like the people around them, they don't see it. I'm just like, oh my, like, yeah, it's crazy good. But it was the third depressing movie in a row. And I was like, after I finished this movie, I needed a palate cleanser. And I was just like, I needed something. And I went ahead and I put on Star Trek by J.J. Abrams. I think this is one of my go-to movies. I love this movie so much. I love it. It's so amazing. The casting is incredibly good. I know Sleepy was telling me he doesn't really like reboots. I think they did such a phenomenal job in rebooting this and taking it in, but keeping canon, but going in a totally different direction. They really did it in a smart way. And the way, like the first movie is basically getting all the characters together and putting them into a situation where they can interact. And making the relations different because, right, so this is a kind of a different timeline. So we get them all thrown together, but it's in a different way. And so they interact differently, and they've got to learn to overcome those differences. I just think the casting, these two are phenomenal. Like Zachary Quinto as Spock, I think is brilliant. There's a scene early in the movie where he's in front of the Vulcan High Council, and they're like, "Yay, we've accepted you into our science academy. Good luck for you." And then the guy's like, "It's really cool." Like he announces it in front of. It's like really cool how you got into the science academy despite the disadvantage you have. And Spock is like, "May I ask to which disadvantage you're referring?" And then there's like, "Your mama." And Zachary Quinto's reaction is hilarious. He's not allowed to show emotion, but he gives them a little speech, and then at the end he says, "Live long and prosper," like you've never heard. He's basically telling them to eat shit and die. It is hilarious. Every time I see that scene, it makes me cheer and laugh like crazy. If you've never seen this movie, you've got to watch that scene because he is phenomenal. And then she is so good in this movie too. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out right now. I needed to get away from all those depressing movies. There's a scene where he's trying to cheat the Kobayashi Maru, and she's just like over it, and she's like head of communications. She's just sitting there, and she's like, "Captain, we've got a call," and she's like rolling her eyes. I don't know why, but that cracks me up to no end. Anyways, you can tell that I love this movie. I love it. You've got to watch it. Oh, and then, wait, this is the next movie. So the next movie is Into Darkness. Now, I'm not going to spoil this if you haven't seen it. This movie takes the first movie and ramps it up by 10. It's like what Alien and Aliens did, right? How they're like completely, they're the same thing, but it's like the action is ramped up. This movie is so good and so action-packed, and so much happens. Like, it's such a good movie. We're not going to talk about the third one, although I'm probably going to watch it this weekend, but it's a stinker. I still like it, though. But we have to talk about that scene. This is infamous, right? Everybody was complaining that scene shouldn't have been in the movie. But every time I watch it, I kind of laugh. I mean, they put it in for the fanboys, and I don't see anything really wrong with it. It's like gratuitous, but I mean, Star Trek is kind of that way anyway, right? It's like, I don't know. Do you guys see anything? It's very quick. It's like they show her body, and I mean, it's like female exploitation, right, in a movie, but I don't know. Like, I don't see why that was so wrong. But people are like, that's exploiting women. Like, it didn't need to be in the movie at all, but it was, and it's kind of fun. Look, I'm gonna show it again for all of you out there. Oh my gosh, I like this movie a lot. I just like how they take history and they flip it like the history, like the real history. No, the Star Trek history, and they totally flip it on its head. It's got a predictable outcome, but wow. And Benedict Cumberbatch is phenomenal too in this role. I'm not going to tell you who he is. Okay, in case you don't know. And that's it. I'm like looking at my beard every time. It's like all lopsided. Oh gosh. I need to just put it in like a rubber band and do that to it. Okay. The one book that I read was the third in this series by Shannon, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe it's Sean McGuire. And that is the continuing story. There's about 8 of these books. This is the third one. I'm trying to get to the one that was nominated for this year for the Hugo, or it might have even won. And this one is Beneath the Sugar Sky. So I did not enjoy this one as much as the other ones. Maybe the idea of this is wearing thin, or maybe just this was a dip. So this is about kids who have gone through doors to other dimensions, and they're forced back to to their home of Earth. And then they continually, like, they're searching for the rest of their lives, trying to get back, because they like the places where they were more so than Earth. Each place that they walk through is kind of geared toward their personalities. Now, this one was about a daughter of a character that died in the last book. The character died young, and it turns out like a daughter from her future comes to this Earth to try to get her mother, because the daughter is starting to disappear. Kind of like in, what was that movie with Bruce Willis and oh my God, that young actor, he's so good. I'm doing one of those senior moments right now. I think the movie's called Looker. Maybe not Looker. Looter. Oh gosh, I can't remember anything. It's a time travel movie. Where they go ahead and then they start like removing the, oh God, I'm so bad. Scratch everything I just said. So this young girl comes from this land, and she's starting to disappear little by little, because her mom died before she could actually have the child. And so they spend, I mean, it sounds really interesting, right? But it just wasn't. And then they're spending the rest of the book trying to go to different worlds and collect the pieces of the mom. Like, they have to go to the underworld to get the soul. They have to go to another world to get the skeleton. It was fine. It wasn't as good as the first two, and I'm glad it was really short. I'm definitely going to keep going with the series. It wasn't horrible by any means. But maybe it's just wearing thin for me. This really feels like it's for young adult, even though they put some really the author puts some really bad language in this, kind of making it for an older audience. But basically the whole thing really feels young adult to me. And that was it. Oh wait, no, I have to do one more thing. So at the end of the month, that I'm going to have my, I'm going to have my live stream. And so I have the stuff here to promote it. And I'm going to try this weekend to make a video to remind people. So we're going to be talking about, remember, it's March, it's Mammoth March of the Mammoths from BookTube. And so I've picked 4 long things to kind of focus on. And this is Wynton Marsalis's Blood on the Fields. It is a 3 CD set. I've already started. It's really good. The 1001 Arabian Nights, Volume 1. Like I said, if you want to just pick one story and read it, or you want to pick like basically the greatest hits of the Arabian Nights, yeah, and this is actually 3 volumes, and each volume is over 1,000, or is 1,000 pages. This is just under 1,000 pages. We're gonna watch Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker, which is a 3-hour bore fest. No, it's visual poetry. And finally, we're gonna be going over the graphic novel Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith. So there you go. You can do one thing, do a couple things, do no things. I want to thank Jenny at B-Sides for this. I mean, look at this. And I have to investigate, does that album actually go with this? Or what's going on? I don't care, because this thing is amazing. Look at this. This one-of-a-kind art piece album. And thank you for all the other stuff. What am I doing? Oh, I'm at 31 minutes. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Everybody, I hope your week was better than mine. And I hope that you all have a great weekend. And as always, Garage Geek thanks you for the support. And I don't know if I'm even going to do any videos this weekend besides this one. I don't know. We'll see. But again, I want to thank everybody for the support.